Hey y'all, hi, bonjour mes amis, welcome back to my channel. Friends, it has been weeks, weeks upon weeks since I have actually had the opportunity to sit down and film. Things have been so busy just with work and life, and I just happened to have a couple days off, and still it took me to the very end of the day. It's already after 4 o'clock when I'm finally sitting down to film because, you know, life has just been a lot, and not in a bad way. It's just, you know, life gets in the way, life happens, and it's just been a busy time, and I'm gearing up for an incredible few weeks, rather incredibly busy few weeks ahead. So I wanted to take the opportunity while I had it, while the opportunity presented itself, to actually sit down and be here with you, because I miss creating content and looking at, you know, my behind the scenes, like my little YouTube studio, and seeing that, you know, the days are just kind of ticking by since I uploaded my last video, since I sat down here. It wasn't making me feel good. And the whole point of this YouTube channel is, you know, not only having the ability to connect with everyone who's watching and my little community here, but also just to have fun and to play and just to have a creative outlet. And yeah, it hasn't really been happening for me. So today I scheduled it into my agenda. It said film, and I wanted to hold myself firmly to that because this is something that I do for myself. So it's very, very important. And I've had plans for all kinds of different videos to film. One of the things I want to do, and I actually started doing that in various different ways today, is I'm kind of going through like a massive declutter. I'm experiencing a bit of a spring cleaning, even though we're moving into September. But one of the things that I would really like to film is an overhead declutter of my makeup collection, because there's just been stuff that's been sitting in my collection for years and years now that I'm simply not touching anymore. And the time has come, the walrus said, to kick that shit out of bed. So I really want to film a declutter. But I had I had my nails done about a month ago now, and, you know, as any kind of fake nail does, they fell off, and the state of my fingernails has been less than attractive. So I didn't want to be that person with really unappealing fingers filming an overhead video. So I'm just waiting for probably another couple weeks until my nails kind of grow and are back to a better state, and then I can film that video. But it's really killing me because I want to get rid of this stuff. And today I, you know, started a bit of a closet purge, did some purging from my kitchen. Like, I had a couple of lids in my pots and pans drawer that didn't have matching pots to them, and I'm like, why are these even in my kitchen? I have knives that I'm just absolutely not using. They've just been attached to like the magnetic knife holder for weeks, and it's ridiculous. So it's just time to kind of let go of some things, and let go of things without guilt. And also because I've been in this apartment for March, April, May, June, July, August. This is my 6th full month in this place. And as I keep talking, I'm just going to apply my sunscreen because the rest of my skincare is already on. This is the Kapari Sun Shield Soft Glow Daily Face SPF. I have obviously been using it and loving it. It is truly such a beautiful sunscreen that gives that delicious hydrated glow to the skin. Just got a really beautiful sheen to it. I've mentioned this before. It has very much of a silicone-y slip when you first apply, but that dries down. It doesn't stay super slippy, which I appreciate because I don't want my face to feel like that the whole time. So as that just kind of sets down, I can continue speaking. Yeah, I've just been doing a purge of things and just getting my life organized. And I've been in this apartment for 6 months now, and I still have things that I haven't, you know, put up on the walls, but that's also made me realize that, you know, I haven't fully settled in here in terms of certain things, but I've also, because I have been here for 6 months, and realizing that there's just other things that I don't want or need anymore as I'm kind of filling out the space and settling into this life in this new city. So I'm just very much in this space of like, it's a bit of a flux, a change, but I also am getting a little uncomfy sometimes with the amounts of things, especially if I'm not using them. Like, I hate having things just sitting there gathering dust. And like, if you know me and you've been in my space, yes, I have a lot of stuff. I've got a lot of books. I have a lot of hobbies. There are hobby graveyards here, there, and everywhere. I have a lot of things, but if they're out with intention. If they're in a drawer, it's just that's what drives me nuts. If they're like hanging in a closet, not being worn, sitting in a drawer, not being worn, sitting in a drawer, not being used, with the exception is like unopened products. But if I've got open things, if I've got things that have been actively used at one point and are just rejected and are sitting there for years, like, time to go. So while I'm in that mental space, I'm also in, as per usual, because it's me, the mental space where I'm just like getting kind of desperate to buy things. Obviously, if you're in the beauty space, in the fashion space, following influencers, there's the constant temptation to buy things, and I am so susceptible to that. And there have been a number of releases in the last month or so that have really caught my attention. Or there's one on here on my list that is not a new release by any means, but it's just something that's kind of been there in the background that like I want, but I'm really trying to just use what I have and love what I have and appreciate what I have without spending unnecessarily. And you know, when I do buy a new product and I don't immediately love it, I'll give it a few chances, but otherwise I'm not keeping things in my collection anymore. I am immediately passing them on to my mom or my sister. So the stuff that I need to purge is stuff that I've needlessly held on to. And the rest of the stuff I am just trying to use and love, as I said, because I've got this temptation to buy all of these new things. And so that's kind of, that is the framework for today's video, is that there's a list, and I've got, you know, the photos up here. There's a list of stuff that I really would love to get my hands on. But as I've kind of been flipping through my collection, I realized that I've pretty much got everything I need at my fingertips to achieve the look of what these products would ultimately give me. So today is just about makeup playtime, and it's very Hannah Louise Poston approach. You know, just looking at the things that we want, but then looking at our collection and being like, I've already got this, I don't need more. So shopping my stash, makeup playtime. You know, we're not particularly going anywhere today. This is just an opportunity to film and like reconnect with the things that I have and be a little bit reinvigorated with appreciation. So the one thing that is not on my list of things that I want is an eyebrow product. I am slowly but surely going through my varying eyebrow products in my bag. I've got my little fluffy daily makeup bag, and currently the product that's still in there is the NYX Thick It Stick It Thickening Brow Mascara in the shade Brunette. It's great. I've been doing a little bit more of a color brow lately, so we're just going to start off by getting that into my brows, just kind of clean them up a little bit. I have a wedding on Sunday, and depending on how today's look goes, this might actually be a nice little trial run. I've got a really pretty dress. It's a day wedding on a Sunday. It's not super formal, it's not nighttime, so I don't have to like go extra intense on the makeup because I'm going to be in the dark. So we're going for very much fresh My dress is green, my accessories are pink. I want to look and feel kind of like Tinkerbell, so that's gonna, I think, kind of also inform the direction I go with the makeup today. So this is gonna be a nice little trial run, a couple days, and then, you know, tomorrow I have a funeral. So maybe I'll also do the same makeup because the point is, you know, light and fresh. And we've already explored the latte makeup trend. As we talked about in the last video, we are in an endless cycle of trends that happen every 30 seconds now, thanks to social media and TikTok. And I think the new ones, I mean, they're probably not even trends anymore, but we've got like the tomato makeup and strawberry girl summer makeup or whatever. Listen, love that. Love a super flushed, sunburnt cheek and a freckle. That's something I wish I could do every day. I was at a Comic-Con last weekend and I dressed up like an elf and I put on freckles, and my boyfriend said, "Did you put on freckles? You should have those on every day," because he thought they were just so cute. And I was like, I know, I wish I had freckles. I have like individual selective freckles, but I don't have the full effect. Who doesn't love a freckle? So yeah, we're gonna go maybe a little bit of the strawberry trend, but on the eyes we're gonna go relatively subtle, I think. But the first product that, you know, everyone is kind of talking about right now, that looks beautiful, that I want, that I am lusting after, is the new Tower 28 Swipe All Over Hydrating Serum Concealer. Khaki just did a video recently where she gave it a try, or she's tried it a couple times now in recent videos, and it looks stunning. Khaki is, I think, 36. I don't know. Khaki's in her 30s. I am in my 30s. I want feedback on beauty products from a woman who is of my demographic. I don't need to know what a, you know, 19 or 20-year-old thinks about this concealer. If they think it's great, good for them. But if Khaki thinks it's great, that's great information for me. Obviously, we have very different skin tones and skin types, but I am also in my 30s, so that is applicable information for me. I want it. There is a shade. I'm looking at the Sephora site right now. It's 9.0 MDR, and it's described as medium with olive undertones. Sounds like that's exactly the shade that I need, but I should actually say it's exactly the shade that I want, because do I actively need a new concealer right now? No. Currently, I have 3 different concealers open, and for someone who does not have an encyclopedic collection, nor is that my goal, for someone who is doing this as a hobby, is a beauty hobbyist, just likes to do makeup, that's too much concealer that is actively open and just going bad because I can't use it up as fast as time goes. But I have something that will probably achieve the same kind of effect as the Tower 28, and that is the beloved Kosas concealer. I'm working with the shade 6, and I'm gonna use that for my under eyes. Now, I also have another beautiful concealer that I have been actively using. It's the one that has been daily in my makeup bag, and that is the REM Beauty Sweetener Concealer. That's what this is called? I don't know. Just says concealer on the back, but I'm pretty sure this is the Sweetener Concealer from REM Beauty, and it is in the shade Medium 6W. Very similar in tone, but I found that it is just a little, the formula is different. So it's not as like creamy and hydrating as the Tower 28, but it does a really good job of just cleaning up my blemishes without looking or feeling super heavy. Like, I just really enjoy this concealer a lot. Now, I've used it recently on my under eyes and found that it did not perform necessarily the way that I wanted it to. So I've been pairing these two because the Tower 28 rarely disappoints. Sorry. See, this is how badly I want it. The Kosas rarely disappoints under my eyes, and I'm never going for like full blanked out face coverage. Just want to even the skin tone. If I'm, you know, not very well rested, which is more often than not, I just want to take down some of the darkness under my eyes. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get rid of the bags, or I'm not getting puffy. I have the like cavey under eyes. If you want to know how to kind of conceal the sunken under eye very, very well, Amanda C has an amazing video about that. But you know, I'm just always trying to look like myself. And if I've not slept well, obviously I would like to look just a little bit more well rested. If I've got some active blemishes, this is an actively healing blemish that's taking forever. So it's not like erupting or anything, it's just kind of a bump from an underground pimple, one of those lovely pieces of cystic acne that tends to happen around that time of the month. I feel super satisfied. That's all that I need from a concealer, and I'm pretty sure that I don't need the Tower 28 concealer right now to like have the same effect, to make me feel good, to achieve an even skin tone that, you know, reaches my personal standards. Those standards are not particularly high. And sure, will I consider buying the Tower 28 concealer once I'm finished the ones that are active and open? Absolutely, it's gonna go onto a wish list, but just having this moment of looking at that and physically having this and using this has taken the edge off of that desire. Now, next up on the lust list is the new Phytosurgeon Spectral Sunlight Cream Bronzers. My goodness, do they look delicious and so beautiful. And there's like an incredible shade range. There's 12 different shades, and I think it's such an inclusive release of bronzers, and they just look so beautiful. But again, do I need a new bronzer? No, I don't have that many open bronzers. I think I only have 2 powder bronzers open and 2 cream bronzers. Who needs more than that? Again, I am not working with an encyclopedic knowledge. That's not my goal. That's not what I need. So everything that I'm working with more than suits. Now, to like take the edge off of the wanting something new, I pulled out a bronzer that I haven't really used very much at all, especially recently, and that is the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Bronzer in the shade Who Knows. Wait, oh my god, there's actually a label on here. Most of these don't have the labels. This is in the shade Seaside Shimmer. Now, it is a luminous bronzer, so it is not matte, but that's okay. It's gloomy outside. Why not use a luminous bronzer to counterbalance the bad vibes of this current weather pattern? And that is really pretty. I'm also using the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer brush. They are made for each other, let me tell you. I'm going for a very like fresh look. We don't need to go super heavy on any of the products that I'm applying today. The goal is sun-kissed, and that's actually really very lovely. This doesn't have, at least based on my experience, like we're not talking chunky glitter in the luminous putty bronzers. And I actually, in terms of formula, I did at one point have one of the original putty bronzers in the matte. I think I prefer this formula. I don't know if they actually did an upgrade on the formula, but I would imagine, because matte and luminous is not the same. But I do just overall prefer this. I found that the matte ones, and again, maybe they've updated the formula since I tried them last, but I just found that they were kind of chalky. And like, I don't know, I wasn't a huge fan. The bronzer that I have been using lately in all of my videos and every single day when I'm not using my Anika bronzer, because I'm still trying to get through that after years, is the 1999 Cream Contour Stick in the shade Tea. Love this. It's so good. It's so pretty. But this is also quite pretty and gave me that sun-kissed look that I wanted to achieve. I don't feel too overdone with bronzer. Sometimes you can be a little bit heavy-handed, you know, and that's just lovely. And I think because it's also a cream, I've once again kind of been, that itch has been scratched. I feel satisfied using this even as I'm looking at the photos of the Phytosurgeons. Now, again, whenever it happens that I run out of my active cream bronzers. This is on a wish list. I will absolutely be trying this out at some point, but the urge to click purchase, to hit that checkout button, is not there anymore. So this is a very good approach. I'm quite happy about that. Next one, and this one I think has been the hardest itch to scratch because it's so pretty, because I love her so much and I so desperately want to support her, but I just don't need the products in my life right now. And that is the new Finding Ferdinand Summer Abroad collection, which is the collaboration with Khaki. And it's so thoughtful. It's so beautiful. I don't think I've heard a single or seen a single bad thing about this online. Everything is just, it's so beautifully thought out. It's literally to die for. And it's basically a collection of 3 different shades of like a beige tone and then 3 different shades of a peachy flush tone, all named after different summertime beverages. It's just perfect. The coral blushes are stunning. The beige blushes are stunning. I'm not really a beige blush girly. It's not typically something that super appeals to me, but this collection is stealing my whole heart. And again, because I love her so much and I engage with her content literally on a daily basis, and I'm just so grateful for her presence in this world and in the beauty space. Like, I very much want to support her. I want to support Khaki more than I want to support, you know, Tower 28. Tower 28 doesn't need my support. I don't have a personal or parasocial relationship with Tower 28, but I very much do with Khaki. I've been following Khaki for years. I idolize her. I just think she is so spectacular and so real and so grounded, and that is really kind of informing my desire to also buy these products. But again, they're going to the wish list because I just can't, I'm really trying not to buy right now, and it's very hard, but I do have a few things in my collection that I think will help me achieve this whole vibe. So the first thing, and this actually surprised me because I forgot that I'd purchased this quite a long time ago, like it was still in the box, and it's one of the Kaleidos Mono blushes in the shade Joyride. First of all, the packaging is just so cute. I really appreciate Kaleidos for their packaging. But if you open it up, it kind of looks like a bronzer shade, but it's very much like a beige blush. Like too light of a bronzer on me, I think, but absolutely I think I can pull this off if we're going beige blush. Now, I've only ever really stuck my finger in here, so this could go very wrong, but we're gonna go for it because what do we have to lose? It's makeup playtime. So I'm actually going to use my bronzer brush. This is the e.l.f. Is the label rubbed off on this? Yep, it's this one. We know what this one is. Samantha Robindahl also loves it. So I'm gonna go right over top using a very light hand, but right over top of the e.l.f. Putty bronzer, which will also, this will kind of help to set that cream bronzer down too, but just going for a little bit more of that beigey tone in my skin. And it's super subtle. The Kaleidos blushes are pigmented, but also it is very dependent on the tone of your skin, right? But you can actually see it as I apply it to my nose. Like it does have a very nice pigment to it. I am a diehard fan of the shade Sanguine. This does not leave my makeup bag anymore. I use it every single day. Literally to the point where I have officially neglected all of my other blushes, but it's just such a phenomenal formula. And there was a real hardcore moment there where like I didn't think that I would ever go back to a powder blush. I thought I was going to be a cream blush girly for life. And the Kaleidos blushes just proved me wrong. He really said, not so fast. And I'm really grateful. The formula is just so delightful. It's so silky, so buttery. And it's this shade again is super, super subtle. You can barely see it on the back of my hand. It's pretty close to my skin tone, but again, is totally simmering down that craving for one of Kathy's beige blushes. Now, will I buy them at some point? Probably, but I really need to work through my actively open products. So in the interim, I can lean on this one. What I'm kind of lacking these days in my collection is a really delightful coral blush that I'm like super in love with. But I also realized as I was kind of reorganizing my table today that I've got this Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil in the shade Just Peachy. And it's not exactly the like pop of coral that I would prefer from one of the Finding Ferdinand X Hey Khaki blushes, but I think I can get to where I want to go with that. And I've really only swatched this with my finger yet, haven't really used it, so don't know how this is going to go. Because of the nature of the formula, I'm going to use a damp sponge to apply, and ooh, that's pigmented. I put a lot on there, but that's also the beauty of having a makeup sponge. Okay, that's pretty. That's a pretty blush. That's very peach. And I think that's actually really achieving the coral vibe that I was going for. That's a very nice formula and applies beautifully with a sponge. I also just realized that I kind of do this backwards. I know that most people put on all of their complexion products in like base first, but I usually put blush on last. So this was, I just got so excited and distracted, and here we are with blush on first. I don't know how I feel about that, about putting blush on first, but the color is quite lovely. We'll see in the next process how quickly my cheeks eat that, but I do like that. Obviously not sure how well it's picking up on camera, but in my little mirror here, she's looking great. I'm gonna switch to the magnifying side. My skin looks very luminous right now, and I'm also not mad about that. The next thing that I have been lusting after, the next thing on the lust list, is the eyeshadows from Nabla Cosmetics. Some of these are not specifically new, but they did just release like a new customizable palette, which drew my attention to their range of eyeshadows. I've never tried or bought anything from Nabla Cosmetics before, but my goodness, are their Celestials absolutely stunning. There are 3 shades specifically in their Celestial eyeshadows that I like am dying for. The first is Lychee, which is very much like a pink tone. Then we have, I think it's called Resins, which is like kind of a bronzy gold. And then Cannabis, which is kind of, it looks almost more like a multi-chrome. It's purple, but looks like it has some blue in it. And it's just, I love purple. How could I not? How can I not want that? It's absolutely delightful. But again, I don't need to be going out and buying new eyeshadows. I have way too many eyeshadows for someone who does not have that kind of encyclopedic collection, nor am I trying to achieve that. But I think I have a few things here at hand that can help me achieve something similar. And the one thing that has been in my makeup bag consistently and like definitely reached favorite status very quickly is this Kaja Beauty Bento in the shade Coral Sunrise. I use the brown shade that has those kind of like sequin sparkles in it every single day. It's so pretty. It's so easy to use. It's the perfect wash of color on my eyelids for an everyday situation, but it also has that like little gold sequin sparkle in it. So it adds just like a little something extra. And that's what I'm starting with today. When you have an eyeshadow like this, it's got a matte base obviously, but having the sequin sparkle in there is like a much safer Celestial, because the whole reason we go for Celestials is that like really intense glitter factor. Good, delicious sparkle. With a satin, you're just going for a different texture. With a metallic, duh, it's metallic. But Celestial is where we're getting those beautiful particles of glitter that just make everything magic. And this, while obviously not a Celestial, really achieves that for me. It's just it's the little bit of magic every day. And that's, you know, I could just leave the basic eyeshadow like that. And I think on Sunday for the wedding, that's probably the route that I'm gonna go, because again, it is a daytime wedding. I don't need to go overboard by any means. I'm just taking a small, very small, kind of like a little paddle style brush here, one of my beloved Eco Tools brushes, and I'm just going onto the lower lash line. I also really love the tone of this brown. It's just so nice and warm. Also, apologies for my sniffling. I am fighting a late summer cold and it's the worst. For that kind of celestial vibe, obviously there is this beautiful shimmer in the top of the bento. And then in the middle, we also have another shimmer, although this definitely leans more metallic than, or like, I guess probably more chrome than the top. The top one is definitely more of a celestial. That gives, like, obviously when I swatch it, like, it looks super pigmented, but I like to apply it kind of like dabbing it so it gets super, that like dispersed glitter. So it's got that gold lean, it's got that peachy tone, coral gleam to it. It's just so pretty. I put it on my eyes on Wednesday when I went into the studio just because I was feeling like a little something extra, but I just like so lightly dabbed it onto my finger and then applied it to the lids, and it just really gave me that little extra oomph. And the center shade is also pretty, but definitely not like the way that the glitter sits in there kind of gives celestial, so like maybe I could use that. But I also have two really pretty Ritual de Fille Ash and Ember eye soots. I think they're both the Ash and Ember. Yes, I've got one in Half Light, and this is still the original packaging, and then another in Golden Age. And I would put these more in the category of like probably satin slash metallic, and I think maybe not really the right vibe. This one is Golden Age, and this one, which you can't really, they're very similar. We've got more of like a sooty bronze shade, which is Golden Age, and then this one here is Half Light, which is kind of like a mauvey gray bronze. But I don't think either of those are the vibe I'm going for at the moment. So we're just gonna put those aside. And I think using my finger to apply, I'm gonna go in with the Beauty Bento into this middle shade, because I think if I just dab like this, I'm gonna get a lovely color payoff. Like there's just a really pretty coral goldy shift to it. But if I'm dabbing, I'm getting more of that like celestial feel because of the nature of the glitter particles. And I just think that that's pretty. And that's all I needed. And yes, these Nabla Cosmetics or Celestials are truly, truly stunning. Maybe one day I will buy them, but I've got so many pretty eyeshadows in my collection. Not to mention this truly stunning glitter from Lemonhead. It is the Space Jam in the shade Party Favor. It's their collab with Urban Outfitters. And like, no, I'm not gonna put this on my eyeballs, but like if I really wanted to go super punch with a glitter that has like beautiful big particles, it's this one. And I was so obsessed with this when I bought it that I bought two backups. So like I will have this for eternity. And yeah, if I really am craving that kind of like high impact glitter, I have it sitting right here in front of me. You know, I don't need to go look elsewhere for it. It's all right here. And I already feel the urge of that itch subsiding because I've shopped my stash and I have things in my collection here that I know I will actually use and love. And it's not going to be like, ooh, am I gonna like it? And will I ever use it? Or is it just gonna sit and rot in my collection? That's what I'm trying to fight against right now with my whole semi-no buys. You know, let's use and love what we've already got because there's so many beautiful things right here in front of me. The next thing that's everywhere is the beautiful Berry Freckled Pen by the creator Rudy Berry. And I don't know, I think it was like a sponsored post that brought her up onto my feed on Instagram for the first time. Had never followed her, had no idea who she was until then, but then all of a sudden she was everywhere and strawberry makeup was everywhere and this freckle pen was everywhere. And my goodness, was it lust with all caps. I wanted it so badly. I do want it so badly. It looks like a phenomenal freckle pen. And over the past couple of years, I've gotten really into doing faux freckles. And, you know, I've got the Freck OG in a miniature. It's the original freckle pen. I do love this. I like the tone of it. I think it's really natural, but sometimes it's not entirely easy to apply. And I think that is the huge appeal of the Berry Freckled Pen, is that it does look so easy to apply and it just looks great. And I want it so badly. But I have this, and somewhere in here on my desk somewhere, I've got a backup of this. So we're just gonna go ahead and use this, and I regret not seeing this until now, because usually I actually like to do my freckles in between my bronzer and my blush so that my blush applies over top, but what can you do? We're just gonna have to go with it. And the one thing I've learned with applying faux freckles is that, like, this is not the time or place to be a fussy perfectionist. So it's also kind of been a little bit of a helpful journey for me in fighting my inner perfectionist, because you really can't be. You just kind of, if you try too hard to do faux freckles, they don't look good. So it's really so much better if you just kind of like wing it, and, you know, don't try and make them even, because if you want them to look natural, there is no symmetry to natural freckles. The imperfection of freckles is what we are attracted to, or what I am attracted to. I don't want to paint everyone with the same brush there, because obviously there are people who still actively try and disguise their freckles, or the people who spent so long being told that their freckles were not attractive and they needed to cover them up are now getting mad because we're all putting freckles on their faces. And like, listen, I get it, but I've always wanted freckles. I have individual freckles living on my body and my face. Have always wanted this kind of freckle. Now, oh, see, this is not foolproof. And I really struggle to do freckles on my nose without it looking like I'm just suffering from like excessive blackheads, or, you know, I don't end up just putting huge smudges into my skin like I did right there. Nose freckles are certainly the hardest to achieve, which is where I think like this little freckle pen from Rudy Berry could actually be very beneficial, just because of the nature of the applicator itself. Whereas with the Freck, it's not a pen, it's a little tiny brush. So if you flinch, you're gonna do what I just did over here, which is the brush bends and then you end up with like a full smudge of stain on your skin and have to act really quickly to kind of wipe it away and restart. Like, it can just get really smudgy and messy, and it also just takes practice, which is why makeup playtime is great, because you can make mistakes and get messy, Miss Frizzle style, in the comfort of your own home before debuting your faux freckles. Now, I would also really like to do my faux freckles at this funeral, but a funeral is not really an occasion to look super cute. Like, we're all there because a beloved family member has passed away. Should probably try to handle that with like a little bit more class. The next two things that I'm lusting after, and they're like quote unquote dupes in my own collection, are things that are going to come at the end. So in the meantime, I still have to put on my mascara. I have finally opened up my NYX On the Rise Volume Mascara. I finished that Tower 28 mascara, and bleh, I'm never looking back. I never want to see it again. I really didn't enjoy it. I'm so sorry to all of those people out there who do like it and, you know, thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread or whatever. I didn't like it. And then I opened this and I tried it again and I was just like, oh my God, this is what a good mascara looks like. And again, that is totally subjective. Everyone has a different opinion of what is good. My friend Chani loves the Tower 28 mascara. Lots of people do. I can't get past it. But I'm gonna do this off camera, come back with the mascara done. And then we're gonna address our last two products. And then I think I feel great so far. We're gonna feel great leaving this together, and we won't have spent any money. We'll have just used everything that was right here all along. Isn't that so nice? Okay, be right back. Okay. Mascara's on, super happy with where the eyelashes are. On Sunday, I will take a little bit more time and care with the lashes, but because it's a Thursday night and I'm not doing anything except for probably going to my boyfriend's and watching Carnival Row tonight, it doesn't need to be perfect. But as a whole, as a concept, super happy, love it, looks great. The other thing I am hardcore lusting after are the new Kaleidos Untamed Glow Glossy Lip Glazes. They look so beautiful. Whoever did the marketing for this campaign did an outstanding job. They captured my attention immediately, made me want to buy all of it immediately. At some point I'm definitely going to, but listen, I have a ton of lip glosses that are open right now, and I just do, there's literally no reason for me to buy another one. And if I did need another one, I mean, there's the Kosas lip oils, which I love and haven't had in a long time and really would love to pick up again. But I mean, the Kaleidos lip glazes, oh my God, they look so pretty, especially Pink Marquee and Elixir. I mean, they're just, oh, they're so stunning. I want all of them. But I have something that I have been using literally every single day that I think is going to give me a similar kind of effect. It is the new lip glaze from In Beauty in the shade called Pina Colada. Now, beautiful bronzy shade. In the package, it literally looks like it's going to be metallic bronze on the lips, but once it's on, first of all, the scent is great. It's a little fruitier than I like, but lovely nevertheless. And on the lips, it is so absolutely stunning. Is that not beautiful? I love it. I love everything about the In Beauty lip oils. I had to get rid of my other one. I can't remember what it's called. The glazed donut one that doesn't have any color pigment in it, because the lid had cracked and it was just like, it had been open for a really long time. And I was just worried that it was going bad, and I was putting that on my mouth, and I'm a lot less interested in continuing to use lip products for a long period of time, because obviously like you lick them and then it's getting right into your body. But so stunning, and it was another one that like stayed in my bag every single day. This one, since I got it a month ago now, every day. It's in my bag every day. I love it so much. It feels so good. Like these, they're not sticky, but they're super plumping, super bouncy, feel amazing on the lips, taste great. And I just really love this specific tone. It's perfect. And it really does look very intimidating in the package, because it looks like it's just gonna go straight on like bronze metallic. And like, I don't know if anybody really wants that. But once applied, it's just so sheer and gorgeous and just gives you that really beautiful glazed look. So once again, like, itch scratched, I am satisfied, and I had it right there in front of me. Now, the next thing is not necessarily specific. It's more just a general desire to try multiple things from the brand, and it is Salt Air, which is Iskra's brand. And Iskra, if I'm pronouncing her name right, is I think she's Australian or British. British maybe model, I guess. Beautiful blonde plus size model. She was one of the Aerie ambassadors for the longest time. I don't know if she's still got a contract with them, but that's kind of how I first discovered her, was through Aerie. And Salt Air is her brand, and it's lovely. Let me just go to their website right here. It says, "We are Salt Air. We believe body care is skin care." Fully agree. Created to deliver efficacious results, Salt Air products are formulated with active skincare ingredients, nourishing oils, and exotic botanicals that treat the skin and awaken the senses. Advanced skincare ingredients like niacinamide, glycolic acid, retinoids, and antioxidants are combined with exotic ingredients and evocative fragrances to create compelling and sensorial products that truly work. And all of their products are cruelty-free, vegan, paraben-free, gluten-free. Right off the bat, checks off so many of my boxes, if not all of them. But also, I just find the packaging so attractive, and I love the names of the different lines. Like, we've got Pacific Pear, Santal Bloom, Pink Beach. Yes. Seascape. Yes. Exotic Pulp. Island Orchid. Laguna. Like, everything sounds right up my alley and just really speaks to me. And I think if it weren't for some of the scent profiles they were claiming and some of the names, I would maybe feel a little bit less intrigued and like have less of this desire to seek out their products. But I just want it all so badly. Now, I'm not going to, because I have so many moisturizers in my unopened collection right now that I'm working through. But I also have two beautiful, luxurious skincare body products that are open right now that I use. Well, one of them I use every single day, multiple times a day. The other one is kind of more of a treat. And so just to kind of scratch that itch right now here together, we're going to use them. The first is this Naturium Biolipid Restoring Body Lotion, fragrance-free, which is a little unusual for me. I typically like a lotion that has a fragrance, usually something in like the vanilla range. But this is just a truly lovely and luxurious lotion, and I use it in abundance after every single shower. It truly is lovely, and it makes my skin feel good. It's not heavy. It's a lotion, obviously, so a little lighter weight than a body cream or a butter, obviously. But it's just, all in all, a really great lotion. And unlike the body wash, I actually do, you know, notice the benefits of this, because it's not something that you're washing off right away. I'm having some skin issues right now, like either psoriasis or eczema outbreaks in a couple places, and this is definitely something that is non-irritating, especially because it's fragrance free. So it's kind of been the perfect time for me to be using this. But the other product I have is not necessarily like an in my stash dupe for anything from Salt Air, but it's just got that luxury factor and also kind of that like beachy Laguna type vibe, which I think is totally applicable. And this is the Mermer Manoy Beauty Flower Glowing Dry Body Oil from Artifact. I mean, just look at that. How pretty. How stunning. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that the shimmer settled, it would just be such a beautiful thing to like keep out on your vanity. Not that it's not pretty when it settles, but you know, to really get this gorgeous tone, you gotta shake it. And sometimes I just love to be sparkly, and obviously we're gonna do that together right here, right now. So I'm just going to put a few drops into my hand, and then we're going to apply that to my chest and neck. And it's got a really delightful scent. And the first time I used an Artifact product, I wasn't crazy about the scent. It's hard to explain. It definitely smells like Manoy, and it also has cookie oil in it as well. This also has cherry seed oil, though I don't know if that's something I can smell. But the Manoy and the cookie, I don't know how to pronounce it, definitely is something that my nose picks up. And it's an acquired taste, but it's one that I actually did manage to acquire, and now I really enjoy it. And it's just, it leaves the skin just gleaming. Up close, there are visible particles, but I don't really care or mind. From a distance, it's just glowy and healthy looking, and I just feel like I have spent some quality time giving myself self-care. And I love how the makeup look turned out. I think I need just a touch of powder. Oh, and my goodness, there are also a number of new powders that have come out on the market, which I didn't have time to go hunting down, but I am still working on my very broken cheekbone beauty powder, and it's solid. It's really great. I don't really need to go in search of, you know, a variant on a powder, because I have something that is perfectly good, and you know, unless it falls again and completely shatters, I don't need to go in search of something new, because I like it. It does the job, and it's an indigenous female-owned brand, which I absolutely freaking love. So why wouldn't I be happy with that? Now, I do feel like this is just maybe like slightly too much makeup to go and sit on a couch. But who cares? I have been watching The Nanny, and if Fran Fine / Fran Drescher has taught me anything, is that you just gotta go out there and be your best self, and be yourself, and love yourself, and just live life to the fullest, and literally not apologize for who you are. And so this is just who I am today, this evening, and I think that is a-okay. With all of that being said, I think we are well over time, so I'm going to bid you all adieu. Hopefully it will not be such a long span of time before we see each other again, but if it is, please bear with me. I promise you it is not for lack of wanting to be here. It is just because of a lack of time and energy that your girl currently has access to. But you know, come the middle to end of September, things should ease up just a little bit. I'm hoping that we can just really dig in and get back into a routine here together, and you know, maybe we just continue to grow this channel. One can only hope. Anyways, for today, that is everything from me. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you're new here and you made it all the way through this video and you liked what you saw and you had a cute fun time with us, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. I would absolutely love for you to become part of the Land Fam. And for the rest of you, well, you know that I love you. I'm so grateful for you being here. And I will see y'all in the next one.